Doug Lehman, breaking it down layman's terms. Today I've got a special guest. I've got Doug Wyatt, and he's Director of Product Management for SPARXiQ, and he really plays and trains in the space of B2B sales, virtual selling, the modern selling, and understanding today's buyer-centric selling expert, and a whole lot more. Doug, welcome in layman's terms.
Doug, it's great to be here, and I'm glad we have two Dougs together. It's the best way it should be.
Dougs are taking over the world. And speaking of training and taking over the world, we've been hit with this pandemic, and a lot of remote trainings taking place. And your company, SPARXiQ, really has a strong play in sales training B2B, but you've made some changes with modern sales foundations, what I'm hearing about. Can you talk a little bit about your training programs and the differentiations in that?
Glad to, yeah. So SPARXiQ, we've been making different training for a number of years now, and we've focused historically on doing things virtually and having it be on-demand, self-paced, engaging training that salespeople can really take one episode at a time and really absorb what's in it. And so that's something we've done all along. And if you've ever seen any one of our programs, you'll quickly notice that we write and produce it in a very different way than many other companies. We use what I like to call Hollywood expats to write, act in, and even film, direct, edit all of our programs. So what comes to life on the screen looks much more like a TV series or a movie than a just somebody in front of a camera. And there's a lot of great training out there. We just feel very strongly that the more engaging a training program can be, the more likely that a salesperson can take in what's in the program and learn from it and apply it on the job. So the main difference with modern sales foundations, we've been building this program for, a little bit over a year now. And Mike Kunkel and I collaborated on writing it. And we started with basically this buyer-centric mindset. And it's so important to reach today's buyers and sell the way that they're wanting to buy. And so we basically have had that as a North Star principle, and we've applied it to every sales activity. And that's really what's coming to life in this program.
Well, what I like about what you said is you're taking it to another level. You talked about production value. You talked about the visual elements, because I'm a video guy, and there's one thing is train. How do you separate yourself from the other training companies? And you just broke that down so eloquently. And I encourage people to go out to your website and look at what you have over at SPARXiQ, but you're really bringing in an engagement level of training. It's you're putting a lot of work into that, and that shows, because let's face it, there's a lot of training companies out there in the B2B sales training space. One thing I noticed on your website, you really talk about the impact of profitability and results and acceleration of sales. And you've been known for that. Can you kind of piggyback a little bit more on how do you accelerate the sales process?
Sure, that's a great question, and where it comes from really is SPARXiQ's heritage is as an analytics company, actually. So we've been in sales training for about 5 years now, but we have almost 30 years of experience as an analytics company, and we started producing training to build onto the analytics business that we had. And what we found was in analytics, you're making a lot of business recommendations based on data. And in order for those recommendations to make a difference, we saw the opportunity and the need for good skills training in the workforce for that company to be able to pull that initiative across the finish line, whatever it might have been. So that's really the big differentiator of how we even got into the business, is we got here from a point of having it make a difference alongside a good strategy based on data. And so naturally, you can imagine that we hold our programs to high standards to make sure that they're making a difference for the companies who buy them. We want to make sure that when somebody buys one of our programs, that they are seeing the change that they want to see in the key metrics that they watch.
Well, you bring the data, you bring the metrics, you definitely bring the production value. It's a total solution, total package. Doug, is there anything else that you would like to add, a parting shot to our audience?
Yeah, just check us out. Mike Kunkel and I, my co-author for Modern Sales Foundations. We have a monthly show this year on the Sales Experts channel called Modern Sales Straight Talk. And every month we're going to be applying what we call, again, buyer-centric selling to a different part of the sales process. And we're going to be digging in and really telling you how to do it. So if you're a sales leader, we're here for you to give you some ideas you can bring into your team. If you're a sales manager, it's absolutely the kind of things that you can coach your team on and apply right on the job. And if you're a curious salesperson who's out there, we're going to give you kind of some inside secrets of being able to really connect with your buyers in a way your competition isn't. So check that out. And then, modernsalesfoundations.com is all about our upcoming training program we'll be launching in the next couple weeks. And we're really excited for that and excited to see the kind of difference it can make for salespeople in today's world.
Lots of activity coming from Doug Wyatt over at SPARXiQ, buyer-centric selling expert, say that 3 times, and a whole lot more. I want to thank our special guest, Doug, coming on the show, and I want to thank you out there for social watching.